Welcome back to Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder, where we explore all of the crazy, wild, and sometimes downright unbelievable crimes from our state. I'm Megan.
And I'm Mindy, and welcome back, everyone. Thank you for picking our podcast to listen to on this wonderful Monday. And today's case is a creepy one.
Really creepy is an understatement. I mean, because tonight we are going to be pulling back the curtains on a home that just from the outside looked perfectly ordinary, and we've seen them close up.
Yes, we did.
So we can say they look perfectly ordinary. And this is back in 2012, a neat little house in the middle of Springfield, Missouri, sitting on Page Street, hiding a horrific secret that even investigators could not believe.
Yes.
So this is the Antifreeze Murders, the Staudte family.
Okay, so what year did this wild and crazy case take place in?
So 2012, so not that long ago, 13 years ago. And in 2012, here were kind of some of the things happening in our world. And as you can tell, listeners, we are just heading right into our case today.
We are. We're just going to dive right on into it.
Because there's a lot in this case.
Yes.
So 2012, we, of course, had the presidential election where Barack Obama was reelected for a second term and beat Mitt Romney. And we had Hurricane Sandy happening in 2012. Right now, I think isn't it Hurricane Melissa happening right now?
Yes.
So Big Bang Theory fans out there, if you watch Big Bang Theory, you know all about the Higgs boson discovery. But in 2012, scientists announced that they had likely found the Higgs boson, which was a major milestone in particle physics. The Summer Olympics were held in London in 2012. Sadly, also in 2012, we had the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So Hurricane Sandy and Sandy Hook.
Yes. And Gangnam Style. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Gangnam Style.
I do.
I can remember Caden knew every word of that song, of course, in Korean.
Oh my God.
And then Lance Armstrong, 2012 was also the year he was stripped of all his cycling titles because of the drug doping scandal. Yeah. So Springfield, in Springfield, besides this case, the only major event that really comes up when you Google Springfield, Missouri in 2012, besides this case, was the fact that the one and only Kelly Clarkson came to town and performed at the Valhalla Marching Band Festival.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
That Kelly Clarkson came to Springfield.
Very cool.
But otherwise, the Antifreeze Murders and the Staudte family,
once again, Springfield
was big news. Okay. So are we ready to get into our case?
I'm so ready.
Act 1, the picture perfect family. Let's learn a little bit about the Staudte family. So Mark Staudte, the father, was born in St. Louis in 1951, and he met Diane at St. John's College.
Biggest mistake of your life, dude.
Met lovely Diane at St. John's College, which was a 2-year school in Winfield, Kansas. And this college was affiliated with the Lutheran Church. And according to his obituary, which we'll talk about in a minute, the school actually closed in 1986. But according to Mark's obituary, they were married on December 28th, 1985. And Sean was their firstborn, who was born just 6 months later on July 2nd. And then they would go on to have 3 more children. So pretty much your typical kind of start to a relationship.
Yeah.
Mark, Diane, they met in college, it sounds like, got married, started having a family.
All good.
All good. Now, Mark Staudte was described by friends as a stay-at-home dad and a blues musician. So stay-at-home dad, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And blues musician, which we're going to talk a little bit more about the family dynamics. But he was the lead singer for a local Springfield band who had an unforgettable name. Messing with Destiny.
Oh, my God. You want to talk about a bad name.
I was going to say, what do you think of that name? And, I mean,
he was messing with Destiny.
Seeing how
For
his
real.
destiny really is a sad one. It maybe
it was. That is
poetic.
crazy.
He even had a song that he sang and wrote. He wrote and sang a song with his band. And you know what it was called?
What?
Female Judas. Judas out of the Bible, he betrayed. And
Yes.
so, again, I don't know if this is some foreshadowing, but we'll see.
Oh.
And I will put Female Judas, the YouTube video, on our Patreon
Oh
because
my
I
gosh,
found
there's a
it
video?
of him singing it. Mark Staudte.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will put that on there. Now, Mark's gigs brought in some pocket money, but that was about it. I mean, it wasn't like he was making a bunch of money off his band.
So he just did this on the weekends and stuff and was a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, I think he was a stay-at-home dad. I think he maybe did the music thing a little bit more than weekends, but it wasn't money. It was more his hobby.
Yeah.
Now, Diane was more of the breadwinner. She was a nurse.
Okay.
And she also was the church organist at...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, of course. She was also their church
gosh.
organist at Redeemer Lutheran in Springfield. And people describe Diane as meticulous, proud, and in control.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? What if someone described you as meticulous, proud, and in control?
I'd say that's not me. And that's not me.
And that's not me. I would say, are any of those comments? Or not comments, excuse me, but are any of those compliments? Like,
meticulous means like super, super neat. You're
proud.
Like
that can be
bad.
Like cocky.
And control freak.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how we take the description, but that's how people describe her.
Okay.
And then again, they ended up going on to have 4 kids. So here's a little description of their children. And this is at the time of this case.
Okay.
So Sean is 26 in 2012, and Sean was on the autism spectrum. And he was living at home. He lives with his parents still.
Yes.
Then you had Sarah, born 2 years later. So she's 24. And Sarah had recently just got her college degree, moved back in with her parents, and had a lot of student loan debt that she was getting ready to have to repay. Rachel, 2 more years later, she's 22, was really considered the golden child. Her mom described her as talented, charismatic, and just downright showed favoritism to Rachel.
That's who she liked the most.
It was pretty obvious from what I read.
Yeah.
And then the 4th child was Brianna, who at this time is just 9. So she came
way later.
Yes. And Brianna does have some learning disabilities. So at this time, Mark and Diane have pretty much their 4 children all living at home with them. Now, on social media, Diane would flood her pages. People would say every post she made was about Rachel and Rachel's music, how she's such a beautiful singer. Look at her grades. Look at her gifts from God. And then her other kids, rarely a mention.
Okay, yeah.
And this is kind of just blatant favoritism when it comes to Rachel, her 3rd child. How do you think if a mother is blatantly showing favoritism, how would that affect the family dynamics?
Well, that kind of favoritism, they were in a pressure cooker,
Yeah.
And they could probably you can feel the imbalance already.
Right. They were kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm guessing if this is how life has been for many years, there's probably some resentful, these kids, all except Brianna, are adults and can probably feel that. And Brianna can probably even feel that too.
I'm sure.
At
I'm
9,
sure.
if your mom doesn't
for sure
like you as well as she likes another sibling.
Well,
that makes
you do.
sad.
Yes.
So by 2012, Diane wasn't just resentful of her husband and his lack of a job and his lack of motivation. She was getting really fed up with the fact that he was not providing for her family.
Right.
She's not only resentful of that, she's also starting to resent her oldest son who has needs.
Yeah.
He's autistic. And she's really, in her mind, just kind of seeing her family as burdensome. Burdensome.
How
terrible.
That is terrible.
All along, hiding behind being a nurse.
And the organist.
And the church organist. Okay, so we're getting into the second part here.
Act 2.
The first death.
Oh my.
So our first death, sadly, as you already guessed, because I kind of gave it away at the beginning, is Mark, the father, the husband. Okay, we're going to go to April 2012. Mark collapses and dies suddenly. April of 2012. He's 61 on April 8th, 2012, a Springfield police officer was sent to the home on Page Street for a report of a deceased person who was identified as Mark Staudte, according to a probable cause statement that later was used to file murder charges. Anyways, we're going to get to that. When questioned, Diane said, yeah, he hasn't been feeling good for a few days. He's not really been eating, and he's been sleeping a lot more than he usually would.
Good one.
She told the officer that she had checked on her husband throughout the evening of April 8th, according to the statement, and that he would often say a few things to her, but wasn't really responding. Now, I don't know about you.
Ambulance.
Go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But she said that Mark didn't have a history of ailments, seizures, or anything like that. But that she thought that maybe he had suffered a seizure the day before, and that actually she thought he might have had 3 seizures, and the last one occurred like 45 minutes before she found him not breathing.
And, she was a nurse, so they're like, she knows what she's talking about.
Right. So
You know
they're
what I
like,
mean?
she must know what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
nothing to hide here. Like,
right. Like, oh my gosh. And the thing is too, they asked her, so if you thought he had a seizure, or you thought, she's like, well, as a nurse, like, he seemed okay, and he begged me not to take him to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, begged me not to take him to the hospital. And listen to this. So police are there, EMTs are there, looking at Mark. This is a crime. I mean, not a crime scene, but we've got a death scene here. And an EMT noticed that Diane walked right over Mark's body at the crime scene, not around it. She stepped over him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
The officer was like, this feels
wrong.
weird. Yes. Like, he's like, I just have not been to hardly any crime scene where a person, number one, is going to get that close to the body, much less walk over it. Yes.
That's
and
so disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
Like, I don't care that you're here. I'm going to walk over your body.
Right. Like, oh, there's my dead husband on the floor.
Okay.
So, I mean,
we have stellar individuals. So
right. But like you said, people are like, she's a nurse.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, at this point, they're just kind of trying to figure out what happened. And so the officer said, he didn't really see any major injuries on Mark, but he did notice what appeared to be a little bit of dried blood around Mark's mouth. And he didn't really he noted it, but he kind of let it go. He's like, okay, I mean, it wasn't like a ton of blood, and based upon the information at that time, they weren't sure, what that had to do with it. And at this point, a lot of people were like, you know what? Mark was unhealthy. He didn't exercise. He drank quite a bit.
Oh my goodness. So this makes sense.
Right.
Like, he definitely just passed away.
They're like, they're like, we're not completely shocked that this would happen.
Yeah.
Right. She goes on, which is really weird. After Mark died, she put a couple kind of bizarre Facebook posts out. Her demeanor afterward, people said, wasn't really normal. But then again, when you've lost someone, who's to say what's normal in grieving?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
People grieve differently. Yes.
Some people said that during his memorial on April 20th, that she was acting more concerned about being the perfect host at the funeral and memorial and making sure that the guests were looked after, but she wasn't crying.
Like it's a party?
Yes, she didn't look sad. Yeah. And of course, the band members from Mark's band, they're like, the band, of course, has never been the same.
Right.
But yeah, other than a small memorial and a brief mentioning of him on a couple Facebook posts, that is all the grief they really see from Diane.
Oh my God.
Yes. So again, friends assume his lifestyle, late night gigs, drinking, stress. So was there an autopsy?
Well, no.
No. And was anyone really suspicious?
I mean, it just seemed like a natural death.
And that's what they called it. Natural causes was the cause of death. So
yes.
Now, Diane's awfully calm.
Too calm.
Too calm. But she arranges a very quick cremation and memorial.
Oh, I bet she was relieved after he was cremated.
Very suspicious, we know.
Where'd
Quickly,
she spread his ashes? Like in the trash can?
you know what? It didn't even say. Basically, it said quick cremation, quick memorial, spread his ashes, and then guess what she was quick to do?
Money.
She collected a $20,000 life insurance payout.
$20,000.
And okay, not a ton of money nowadays, but Diane's like, you know what? We're getting out of this house. We're going to move uptown with this 20K.
And when we went to Springfield, we went from the old house on Page Street to the new house. And it was a very much of an upgrade.
It was. Diane, and we're talking about this is July 2nd, and he passed away middle of April. So just a few months later, probably not long after she got that insurance money, Diane buys a house on Swan Street.
Think how much of a pain in the butt it is to move, you know?
Seriously.
Like right after you're quote unquote grieving. I mean,
right. How stressful that is. Now I get Mark passed away in that house, so I can see if you'd want to move. But, and again, that's probably why people weren't super suspicious that she moved. Now, again, we went by both and definitely an upgrade. Yeah. Much bigger home, you know, neighborhood.
Just a little swankier.
Yeah, little baby, a little bit more well taken care of. But, you know, Diane's so excited about her house and just continues on with life like her husband did not just die like 4 months before.
People probably were like, oh, that's just how she's grieving. And, you know, she's taking it well and getting through.
People were shocked because they're like, wow, I mean, her online posts are pretty cheerful. I mean, she's really handling this fairly well.
Yeah.
Talking nonstop about Rachel's songbird voice. Jeez. And not again.
Rachel.
Marsha. Rachel. Not a single word about Mark. So, yeah, I mean.
She was pissed at him for a long time. She had to work and he didn't.
You know, and you would think that this would set off some alarm bells. But honestly, nobody thought another thing about it.
No, I can see why nobody would think anything about it. Anyway,
Not yet.
Yep.
Act 3.
Oh, yeah.
The second death. So we're talking 5 months later. This is 5 months since Mark's death. A couple months since they've moved to the new house on Swan Street. On September 2nd, an officer is sent to Swan Street to the Staudte residence in reference to a subject not breathing. The subject was identified as the first child of Mark and Diane, Sean Staudte.
The one with the autism, yes.
Sean's Facebook profile indicated that he graduated from Springfield Central High School in 2005 and that he has a form of autism. And most said Sean was a nice, friendly kid. That's pretty much what most said. Now, Diane tells the police officer that she had last spoken to Sean the night before when he had said that he wasn't feeling well.
Gosh.
I know. She claims she checked on him throughout the night like a good mother would. And then guess where she goes the next morning?
Oh, to church. To play her organ.
Upon returning from church, she tells the police at 12:30, she finds that Sean is curled up on the floor with a blanket over his midsection. When she saw him, she realized she didn't think he had a pulse, and so she calls 911.
I think she took the nurse thing for a...
she's using the nurse.
Yeah.
Diane tells police that Sean, you know, he had been experiencing some flu-like symptoms, diarrhea, nausea, headache, body aches for 3 weeks prior to his death.
So doctor's appointments?
Right.
Did she have any of those?
Right. ER, urgent care.
Anything.
No. She claims she hadn't taken Sean to a doctor because he had been able to stay hydrated. Well, since he's not dehydrated, just because he's not dehydrated, days later, he dies. Guess what? Here we are. Coroner notes the same thing around his mouth that he did Mark.
The blood.
A little ring of red blood. Yes. Now.
So same death.
Seems, yes. Again, coroner notes the same ring of blood. Now, an anonymous report accused Diane of responsibility for Sean's death, but an autopsy ends up determining that he died to other medical issues.
Other
medical issues. Yes. Now, again, at this point, people are, not sure what's happening, but most people are not going, oh, someone in the family has something to do with it.
Sure.
I think at this point,
this is just really weird coincidence,
yes,
right?
and man, what terrible luck for this family,
Yeah.
And so they ended up testing for ethyl glycol.
Okay.
And it's not something that's typical.
Ethylene glycol?
Yes, ethylene glycol.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It said testing for that was not standard in autopsies.
Okay.
So, a lot of people are like, when you do an autopsy, if they're poisoned or anything like that, automatically a coroner will know. Mm-hmm. Well, some chemicals and poisonous elements, unless you're actually looking for them, mm-hmm. you're not going to find them.
No.
And of course, ethylene
antifreeze.
Right. Ethylene glycol, which is also antifreeze, is not something they would test for. Yeah. But doctors were noting as they were trying to figure out what had happened that, okay, nausea, vomiting, decreased alertness, slurred speech, those are all, of course, symptoms of that poisoning, but they're symptoms of a million other things.
Nausea, vomiting.
Yeah. So again, no autopsy. Again, natural cause and quickly cremated.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So
number 2.
Yeah, number 2. Diane's like, woo, woo. Oh. She's strangely upbeat.
Oh my gosh.
And
her life is just getting easier and easier.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
When I looked and I saw many articles where people had looked for Sean's obituary and people could not even find that an obituary had been placed.
She didn't even care enough to do that.
And supposedly she didn't even mention his death on Facebook until he'd been gone for almost 3 weeks.
Seriously.
Now, again, those are supposedlies, but it's not really leaning towards shedding good light on her. According to the post she made like 3 weeks later, she said, "Today we remember Sean's life. May we have a portion of the peace he now enjoys."
What?
She's smiling at church. She's posting photos of who?
Rachel.
Cheerful and carefree. Sean died 157 days after Mark.
Wow.
Now, as a member of their town, what would you be thinking about this family now?
That poor family.
Right.
Oh my gosh, the poor family. What's happening?
Yes.
Honestly, you would not be thinking murder yet.
No, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, poor Diane. Her husband was out of shape, didn't take care of himself. He died. Her son.
He had special needs.
Yes.
And passed away.
Oh my gosh, he got the flu. You know, what happened? Yes, you're feeling bad for this family.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's basically what the community thought. And honestly, it's really shocking in hindsight. But Diane's calm demeanor, her medical background, all that gave her credibility.
Yeah.
People,
she's a nurse.
Yes,
she's a nurse.
Yes. And everyone just kept saying the word unlucky.
Lucky.
She's just unlucky. Act 4. The third victim.
I like the way you put it in acts, Megan.
Act 4. The third victim. Okay. On the last day of 2012. So again,
December 31st.
Mark passed away in April. Sean passed away in September.
So 3 months?
Yes, last day of 2012. Diane takes to Facebook to comment on the year of change.
It?
Not the year of
death.
Awful things, but the year of change. She wrote a tribute to her mom on the 20th anniversary of her death. So her mom had been gone 20 years, thanking the woman for inspiring her musical talents and saying she kept me from killing my brothers.
I don't think she's joking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a little bit.
And then she makes the comment, "I see a part of my mom. I see a part of her in my girls." And it would be one of those girls whom the police believe and end up finding out.
I bet it's not Rachel.
You don't think?
No, I don't think it's Rachel.
Ding, ding, ding. So Diane made little mention of her daughter, Sarah, on Facebook, as we've said already, with the exception, and we have that photo. I don't know if it's in here, but I have this photo I'll show you. It's a picture of Sarah apparently graduating from Missouri State University mid-December 2012.
Okay.
Now, in contrast, she had written, of course, multiple positive messages about her daughter, Rachel, that spring, congratulating her on her accomplishments. But Diane then put some things out about her other daughter, too. So again, focusing on Rachel, but she had put some things on there about Sarah. So June 2013, we're about 9 months since Sean's death. Sarah, college grad, June 2013, suddenly becomes deathly
Now,
ill.
okay.
A year since Dad's death, almost a year since Sean's, she's vomiting. She's disoriented. She's having the same symptoms. Her organs are shutting down.
Oh, my gosh.
Doctors at Cox South Hospital in Springfield are so baffled. Test after test, no explanation. Like, what is happening with this family? And what do you think Diane's doing?
With, playing her organ and partying.
Playing her organ.
They're all dying. Yeah.
My plan's working out.
Oh, I'm going to be free of all of them. Just being me and Rachel soon.
She is basically doing that. She's out in the waiting room as Sarah is fighting for her life, telling jokes, talking about her vacation to Florida.
With her death, her money.
Well, she just said she was going on a vacation and pretty much made the comment, nothing's stopping me from taking that trip to Florida. Made a comment like that.
Nothing's stopping me?
Basically, like, I'm going on this trip to Florida. I don't give a shit that Sarah's in here about to...
I don't care. This is the third death almost in my family.
Right. And her...
going to Florida.
Yeah. And her behavior catches some people's attention. Any idea who you think whose attention might be caught by her indifferent behavior, the fact her daughter's there dying?
Like who?
Like who might be questioning the way she's acting?
Not Rachel.
Well, no. Not Rachel.
Maybe the church friend?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes. Good job. Resources claim it was the family pastor that she worked for at the church. Now, ultimately, it was considered an anonymous call, but people say that supposedly it was the pastor.
Okay.
He calls the Springfield police and says, something is not right with that family. And he then says, I think Diane might be involved. And that anonymous tip.
Yeah, watch your drink, buddy, because if she finds out you said that.
Watch out, pastor. That anonymous tip changes everything.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Thank goodness for him.
No kidding. Act 5, the investigation. Okay, now, Detective Neil McAmis of the Springfield Police received that call. He starts reviewing the files deeply. Husband, dead. Son, dead. Daughter, dying, all within a year. What are the odds?
What? If you don't want a family, you just fucking leave.
Then just leave.
Just leave. Just
you and Rachel, or if Brianna, whoever, at this point, we just know, like...
Put yourself in the car and move on.
Whoever you do like.
Make Mark, is that his name, the father?
Yes.
Move out. Make him go get a job because you're not there to support him anymore. Like, if that irritates you, then just leave them all.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that I would do anything like that. I'm just saying
No, there were other choices.
As opposed. Yes.
There were other choices here. Now... The detective's like, what are the odds that one family has had all this crap happen in the last year? So he goes and he consults with Sarah's doctor. Sarah's the one in the hospital right now. And those doctors actually confide in him. They're like, we think maybe she's been poisoned.
Yeah.
And when Diane is brought in for questioning, she's very composed, polite, smiling. And she said, you know what, officer, my family has been so unlucky.
I'm sorry, but this bitch, I'm serious. Like, what the hell? Unlucky?
Unlucky. So Detective McAmis starts pressing. He says, you know what? You're a nurse. You're a nurse. Surely you recognize poisoning symptoms.
Yeah, since you're so nursey, like tell us about the symptom.
And everything I read when they started questioning her nursing ability and what she knew as a nurse, that's when she started to cry.
Oh.
Not because your family's dead and she should be sad and feel bad, but they questioned her ability as a nurse.
And that's what
made her cry. Hours later, Diane takes a big old deep breath and confesses everything.
I did it. I did them all. I'm still working on them.
Here we go. Okay, the confession.
Okay. Act 6.
Act 6, the confession. They said in a voice as flat as if she were reciting a grocery list, Diane says, yeah, I poisoned Mark, and I poisoned Sean, and I poisoned Sarah. And how'd I do it? I used antifreeze. The kind that you can buy online and it doesn't have a bittering agent in it, so it's flavorless. And he says, well, what did you put this in? Oh, Mark liked sports drinks like Gatorade and Powerade, and the kids liked Coke. So she just...
I mean, you really cannot taste this or smell it or anything. So
yeah, her reasons, here's what she said. Listen to this. Mark, here's why. I hated his guts. He would throw things at me. He would throw things at the kids. I guess I just had enough.
So leave.
Sean. Yeah, he would interfere with everything that I did. He was worse than a pest. He had autism.
Oh, my.
And Sarah, Sarah, she has no job and all this college debt. She's never going to amount to anything.
And you do?
Yeah. And,
you're really amounting to
you want
a
her
lot.
to be like you?
Oh, my gosh. That's evil.
Yes.
That's not even emotional. It's clinical.
Clinical. She claimed she spared only Rachel and little Brianna because she does love them. So in one entry dated June 13th, 2011, Rachel writes, it's sad when I realized how my father will pass on in the next 2 months. Sean, my brother, will move on shortly after that.
So this is Rachel's diary.
It's going to be tough getting used to the changes, but everything will work out.
Oh, my goodness.
Rachel, then 22, originally told police, I don't know anything about this. But when she was interrogated again in June of 2013, it took him a while, she finally admitted her involvement.
Mm-hmm.
She said, my mom brought it up, and then we discussed it. She said, I helped my mom research different killing methods.
Wow.
She
and
said,
think about it. That's your mother. So you're like, she must be right.
Right.
I mean, sick little head.
Yes. And so, I mean, in this premeditation, you're researching killing methods.
And she said in a couple months, my dad will be dead.
She's like, it's sad to think my dad's going to be dead in a couple months and Sean shortly after that.
Yeah.
And again, police are reading this and they were like, this is before they've even died.
This is very good evidence.
So Rachel was in on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel said, I really, really did objecting to the poisoning of my siblings. She said, we argued a lot about Sean and whether or not to kill him. She said, because I really thought we could have just put him in like an assisted living facility. I know, but she wanted him out. She said,
didn't want to pay for this. This said,
oh, hell no. Hell no.
Man, this woman was evil, money.
Evil.
Yeah.
She claimed then that Sarah was equally unneeded. And she said, can we please just find somewhere else for her to go? But no. Mom's like, no, we need to get rid of her.
Oh, my God.
The only reason Diane and Rachel took Sarah to the hospital, unlike the others, was because Rachel didn't want another person to die in the house. She said the plan was to eventually, listen to this, also kill Brianna, the little sister. The little sister who was 9 when these, and then 11 later on.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, yes. And again, all this was discovered through a diary that was found on a bookshelf during another home sweep. And in it, Rachel wrote, "Only the quiet ones will be left. My mother, my little sister, and me."
Oh my gosh.
The entries again described her father and brother's deaths before they had happened. So Rachel had essentially put her confession.
That journal was the ticket.
Big time. Again, talked about how mom had brought it up. And basically, again, when they researched, they found antifreeze, tasteless version.
Now, if
they
I
went
were
with
Rachel, knowing that my mother and I were doing this, I would definitely have not drank Coke or sports drinks for years.
Here's an interesting little fact about that. Rachel said if the seal had been broken on sports drinks or soda bottles, she knew not to drink
Oh my
from them.
gosh.
That
So
was
like
the
their code.
That was the code.
If the seal's been broken,
don't drink it. Yes. Isn't that terrible?
Know what would have been funny is if Diane would have accidentally drank a soda that she had done to herself and died.
No shit.
I'm sorry, that's terrible of me to say, but
no, 100%.
That would have been very poetic justice.
Agreed. Several people eventually came forward and said they, in hindsight, had recalled being in the garage at the home on Page Street, seeing 12 packs of soda and sports drinks sitting on a to a workbench with antifreeze next to it.
So that's where she
That's where she would mix up the drinks. Was in the garage.
And then what?
Rachel probably delivered them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is like,
here's your Coke, Dad.
Mother-daughter craziness.
And they're sitting there watching them drink it.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Watching them drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank goodness they didn't get to the younger sister, Brianna.
Yeah. So she's alive and well.
She is. Sarah also recovered. We'll talk a little bit about her in a minute. Both, of course, Diane and Rachel were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and assault.
Mm-hmm.
In Diane's confession, she says, "I'm not a perpetual killer. I'm just stupid. I regret doing it. I've screwed up everybody."
Yeah.
Well, way to reflect now.
Yeah.
Rachel cooperated. She pled guilty to second-degree murder eventually, and she got life with the possibility of parole after 42 years served. So Rachel, again, she'll be about in her mid-60s when she'll be up for parole. She is incarcerated in Missouri, and at her court sentencing, she told her sister Sarah, "I'm sorry I couldn't find the courage to stand up and do what was right."
Man, did you ever?
Right. And here's the thing is, too, Rachel, when all this was happening, wasn't a kid. She was 22.
Yeah.
So, that's still young, but she knew better. Diane ended up pleading guilty to the 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of assault in it took all the way to January of 2016. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Alford plea.
No.
She submitted what's known as an Alford plea, which basically says to her, "We have plenty of evidence to convict you. And if this goes to trial, more than likely you're going to be found guilty." And so she basically submitted an Alford plea saying, "I'm admitting to nothing, but I know that if I go to jail type of thing, if I go to court, I'll be found guilty." You don't have to admit that you did anything, but you're taking this plea basically knowing that there's all this evidence that would put you in jail, even if you claim your innocence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a very good description, but
no, that was great.
But basically it didn't require her to confess that she was a criminal. Yes. Which I think is bullshit.
That is.
She should have had to say.
I agree.
She was sentenced to 3 life terms with no possibility of parole.
And just think, she's nursing people.
Yes.
While she's killing people. At the same time. Like she's, I don't know.
And hiding behind church.
I think she ever hurt any of her patients?
Well, she might have.
She could have.
She could
have. You're already dying. Or maybe she tested it out on some patients.
And no one ever knew.
Dying patients that were already dying.
Very much a possibility. It said originally she was incarcerated in Chillicothe at the Chillicothe Correctional Center in Chillicothe, Missouri. I don't know if that's where she still is. In a 2022 interview with Diane Sawyer on 2020, Diane suggested that she was not guilty. And she said her husband had people that are very dangerous in his life, and somebody probably came in and gave him something.
Diane said
here's
this?
what's so irritating. She was found guilty. She admitted in the original police recordings, she admitted to it.
Yeah.
Later on, she does the Alford plea,
Yeah.
which doesn't require her to admit to it. So then she starts claiming she's innocent while
Oh
she's
my
in jail and
gosh.
making up all this bullshit.
I'm innocent. I want to go to Florida.
She tries to deflect blame, again, after her confession and makes up all this bullshit. And I thought this was kind of interesting. This is a clinical psychologist from Maryville University. And she said women don't engage in a lot of violent crime as a general rule. That a mother would be committing a crime against someone in her own family is already very unusual.
Mhm.
Then the idea that a mom would bring her daughter in to kill other family members and convince her of it is what makes this so horrific and unusual.
Very much so.
Yes. All right. So
What
Elise,
a lady.
they
What a
got,
lady.
I think, adequate punishment.
Yes.
Now, survival and forgiveness is our Act 9. Sarah does survive the antifreeze, but sadly, she does have permanent damage to her brain and kidneys. Forever. One doctor said if someone ingests antifreeze, even if they survive initially, there still is the risk that, again, they could die from loss of kidney function later. And then, of course, neurological damage.
Yeah.
In fact, I think her neurological damage is so rough that she has to reside, last I read, in an assisted living facility.
Okay.
And actually, someone else has legal guardianship.
Yes.
So, I mean, it affected her tremendously.
Oh, my goodness.
In court, she faced her mom and her sister, and she said, I prefer to be a survivor, not a victim. I forgive my mom, but she took my dad, my brother, my independence, my life as I knew it.
And she forgave her.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, she even forgave her.
That's grace.
Yeah. That's strength beyond comprehension for sure. And she's since maintained, and I didn't see too much of this, but I guess after her dad's passing, Sarah kept like a Facebook page honoring her dad and especially his musical career.
Yeah. Messing with destiny.
Yes. And you might be wondering, what about little Brianna, who once all this was over, was like almost in her teens? She was placed in foster care, and I could not really find anything on her.
That's
very
probably
private.
How she wants that.
Yes. And again, today she'd be in her mid to late teens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, this is a case that shocked the shit out of Springfield.
Yeah.
I mean, really. They were like,
a mother, a nurse,
church organist, all that. Methodically killing her family.
Just one at a time.
Because she thought they were a pain in the butt.
You know, she got a taste of it with her husband. She's like, I think I can keep pulling this off till there's none left except me and Rachel.
And she about did.
Yep.
Plotted, calculated, smiled through it.
Walked over his body.
Went to church like it was
oh my gosh,
any other day. Now, what do you...
cracking jokes.
Oh, yeah. What do you think could have been like the final straw for Diane to come up with this plan? I mean, like, she says all this crap about like he's lazy and doesn't work, but I mean, in your mind, like, do you think there was one big thing or it was like a culmination?
I think it's a culmination. I think she also, had that life insurance. It wasn't much, but
yeah,
I don't think she really liked her life at all and wanted to completely change it. I was like, you know what? I could just poison them all.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she had a life that she wasn't liking.
I need to live in a better area, blah, blah, blah. They're a pain in my butt. They're just,
again,
I mean, like everything,
divorce.
Things she said about them. Yeah, it was awful. Just freaking leave.
Get a divorce. So anyways, just the normalcy of this family.
That is the most haunting thing.
Yes, that from the outside, this was just a normal family. A model mom on the outside, on the inside, a manipulative killer.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And this isn't one of these crimes of passion.
No.
It wasn't a crime to me, even of like money, although she got that insurance money. I mean,
she just wanted him out of her life.
Yeah. I think this was just a selfish act. And sadly, she brought her child into it.
Yeah.
And the blood around the mouths of Mark and Sean.
Yeah, what about
Any guesses on that?
So I'm guessing when you die via antifreeze poisoning, that's that's something that you bleed out of your mouth.
Yeah. They're like, they probably had coughed up blood while they were sick.
Yeah.
They probably, they're like,
when they died, they were coughing up blood.
Yes. And they're like that, of course, as one single, like, what do I want to call that? Like, what's that called? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like one single attribute that you see. Like, he's just seeing the little bit of blood and he's thinking, okay, that's just one little thing. I don't know what I want to say. And didn't really think about it. But when you put it with all the other stuff, you're like, now it makes sense. If you're interested in learning more about the Staudte case, because it is crazy, I will link, of course, our resources, and on our Patreon, I'll have, of course, the Messing with Destiny and anything we mentioned in this. Yes. And you can find that collection, of course, under the Antifreeze Murder on Patreon.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. If you have enjoyed our podcast, please leave a rating and review. Also, follow and subscribe us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous people aren't the strangers in the dark. They're the ones sitting right next to you in the closet. Or right across from you at the dinner table.
Yeah, here, I got a Coke here. You want a drink?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Missouri Mayhem, Mystery and Murder. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay safe. Don't drink anything if the lid has been off.
Yeah, no sports drinks.
This is Megan.
And this is Mindy.
Missouri, you bring the mystery.
And we'll bring the mayhem.
Peace out.